Hello, everybody. Future President Chuck Doris here. Uh, so, this is my Week 1 power rankings and picks. I'm going to try and make this a quicker video because I'm already late. It's currently 4:10 in the morning on Saturday. I didn't miss the Thursday night game, but I wasn't able to post these before the Thursday night game. But these are not taking into consideration the Thursday night game. I was going to make these videos Wednesday and Thursday as I plan on doing regularly, but due to recent events that I'm sure you know of, it didn't feel right to post those days. So I gave it a few days, and here we are. So because I'm in a bit of a rush, I'm going to try and get through these quickly. I'm going to do these both in one video, but from now on they should typically be separate. And I'm going to try and keep this video under 40 minutes. So yeah, let's get right into it. This is the new graphic I made. I hope you guys like it. Coming in at 32. The Carolina Panthers, down 4 spots. They look bad. I mean, I expected them to be bad, but they looked worse than I thought. So yeah, I think they're the worst team as of right now. Now, since this is week 1, there's going to be a lot of moving around. As the season goes on, it's going to smooth out more. These are not predictions. These are right now. So remember that. Also, if you guys have any ideas for what I can put down here in this little white spot, let me know. Because there's not much going on there. 31, the Dolphins. At 31, obviously. Down 6 spots. I expected them to lose. I expected it to be by multiple scores, but they impressed even me with how bad they were. And I'm very low on the Dolphins this year. So, Dolphins at 31. At 30, I have the Saints going up 2 spots. It's not going to be often. I don't like to move teams up when they lose. I don't like to move teams down when they win. It's week 1. There's a lot of moving around. It's going to be like that for the first few weeks. So the Saints move up 2 spots just because they were far more competitive than the teams below them in their game. 29, the Giants down 5. I thought they were going to actually win the game, but I thought they'd at least put up more of a fight. So yeah, they moved down 5 spots because the Commanders didn't even play that well, and they still lost by a decent margin. 28, another team that impressed in a loss. Offense couldn't get anything going, which I don't expect them to. In Cam Ward's first game in the altitude against that Denver Broncos defense. But the defense actually played quite well. So they get to move up a few spots in a loss. Similarly, the Browns. Obviously, we kind of expected what happened in week 1. They keep it really close. They should have won the game, honestly, which is why they're moving up. But Joe Flacco looks like he's still decent for the Browns. It was really just their kicker that choked. So, yeah. 26. The Jets. Another case with the same few teams here. You lost, but it was impressive. The Patriots are the opposite. They lost. It was unimpressive. They should have won that game. They just felt like not running the ball. And I expected them to win that game. I actually expected them to win by a little bit. So, disappointing. They got to move down a whopping 8 spots. Moving down are the Bears. They looked exactly how I expected them to look. Maybe a little better early on, but yeah. And, I mean, the fact that you found a way to lose that game alone is moving you down. Moving up are the Cowboys. Like I said, similarly to Jets, Browns, Titans. You lost, but you were impressive, so you're going to move up a little bit in week 1. Up 3 spots. Number 22 are the Seahawks. They lost. They looked really sloppy. So did the Niners. But you got to find a way to win that game. You had opportunities, and you couldn't do it. So yeah, Seahawks down 2. Cardinals down 3. This is our first instance of a team winning but still moving down. In fact, I think this is our first team that actually won week 1. Yeah. But it was to the Saints. Why didn't you put up 40 on them? They didn't look good. I expect them to bounce back, though. Number 20, we have the Raiders. Going up 7 spots, you beat the Patriots. I think a lot of it was more the Patriots kind of beat themselves. But the Raiders won against the best team, like, of the 2 winners. I think the Patriots are surely a better team than the Saints, so I think the Raiders go above the Cardinals, because I think the final score was the exact same, actually. But yeah, I can't put the Raiders below any of those other teams. At number 19, I had the Falcons staying put. Should have won that game, but you didn't. You didn't win that game. Should have, you didn't. Kept it close. You typically beat the Bucs. You missed a kick. I moved the Browns up for missing a kick that would have won them the game. I can't move the Falcons up because they didn't win the game, and they were going up against a hard opponent. So I'm giving them a little bit of a break. I'm not going to move them down for that loss. I'm just going to keep them put. The Jags are going to move up 3. I expect them to win that game. I expect them to win it by a little bit. And that's exactly what they did. So they move up. Number 17 are the Colts, going up 6 spots. Like I said, I expect them to win. I expect them to win by multiple scores. They deserve to move up because they had that margin of victory, but I mean, I feel like that game was more of a testament to what the Dolphins are compared to the Colts. Yeah. Number 16, the Lions, down 10 spots. That's probably the highest number you're going to see all year on these power rankings. And it's because they looked bad. They looked real bad. And I cannot put them above. I can't put their performance this week, or just as a team in general, so far this season, which is just this 1 week, but above the teams above them. Because they lost, and they lost bad. 15, the Texans. They moved down 5 spots. The game was kind of what I expected it to be. I expected a low-scoring thing, but because both defenses seem elite, but the Texans' offense couldn't do anything. Now they stopped the Rams' offense, which is something, but the O-line really showed who they are, and the offense just couldn't get anything going, so I had to move them below the teams above them. Even though I didn't want to move them down a whole 5 spots. I didn't want to move the Lions down a whole 10 either, but here we are. I accidentally clicked twice. In fact, I will just click the next 4. This is kind of the tier of teams who won, but I wasn't impressed. The Commanders, with how bad the Giants were playing, you should have beat them by more. The Bengals, I get it's week 1, I get it's the Browns. You should have lost that game, honestly. The Niners, injuries are going to be rough. Yeah. So, and it was a sloppy game. You also had opportunities to win. Same story as Seattle. So I can't move you up. And the Vikings, probably the most deserving of moving down. But I'm not going to move them down and move these teams up because the Vikings won. Similarly to, what game was it? The Colts game. I think the Vikings game was more of a testament to how bad the Bears are compared to the Vikings being good, because JJ was not good. He did not deserve to win Offensive Player of the Week. That was outrageous, because he was the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life for the first 3 quarters. And the whole game he was just throwing it at receivers' feet. So he needs to step his game up. But I'm not going to move him down yet. Now, a team off a win that I am going to move down are the Broncos. I'm just going to move them down 1. But the fact that, the defense played great. Defense was exactly what we expected. I'm not tearing that down at all. But the offense needs to go out there and put them away by halftime. It should not come down to the wire. That is a loss where you're going to move down, because that was disappointing. The Titans were one of the worst teams in the league. Going up 7 spots. Are they our biggest riser? The Raiders might be our biggest riser of the week. Actually, no, they're not. I know they're not. But you go out there, they could be higher. It's just the defense was so bad. And that could just be the Jets week 1. Justin Fields early. It's week 1. We can't judge a ton. But the offense looked great. And that's what's been the issue for this team the last how many years. So I think they're worthy of moving up into the top 10 after that performance. Aaron Rodgers looked great. At number 8, Chiefs down 4. You lost. You're still in the top 8. Be thankful. You don't have any receivers. Mahomes looked good. Looked like the best he's looked in 3 years. But that's really all that you can take away from that game. Number 7, I have the Buccaneers up 1. Lucky win, almost. Kept it real close. It was a division game. I'm not going to base a ton off of it, but I think you got to move them above the Chiefs. And also, I think the Falcons are a really good opponent. 6, this is our biggest riser, is the Chargers. I expected them to win this game, actually. We did that in our picks video. 13-3 last week, but we'll get into that. So yeah, the Chargers up 9. They looked good. They looked real good. They looked better than the scoreboard showed. That's what I'll say. Chargers, congratulations. You're our biggest riser of the week. Lions, unfortunately, you are our biggest faller of the week. Number 5, the Packers moving up 2. You show up against the Lions like that, you got to move up. I wanted to move them higher, but I can't move them above these teams that I know are great. Starting with number 4, the Rams. Yeah, you stopped that Texans offense. You showed your defense, which was the biggest question mark, I think, coming into this season, and it really proved it's going to be a top unit in this league this year. I have no worries about the offense. You were playing against one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best. The Rams, yeah, I know they only scored 14 points, but they only had to score 14 points, I think, is what we should take away from that. In 3rd place, you won. This isn't about you. It's about what's going on around you. Unfortunately, the Eagles have to move down 1. They won, but it wasn't impressive, kind of similarly to that Vikings through Commanders tier, or I guess Broncos through Commanders tier. It wasn't impressive. I wouldn't move you down if I didn't witness one of the greatest games of my life, which was Ravens Bills. I don't know why the whole thing just tweaked out there. But yeah, the Bills win that game. They got to move up to 1. You take out the number 1 team in the league, in my opinion, which is the Ravens. The Ravens still played a heck of a game. Defense didn't show up, but neither did the Bills. Ravens, I can't move them down below 2 still. And that's why the Eagles are down at 3, because if the Ravens and the Eagles played today, I think the Ravens kill them, honestly. I think the Ravens kill anyone other than the Bills. So yeah, those are the power rankings for week 2. Sorry, this was a quick one, but we're going to hop right into the other one. But yeah, these were our power rankings of week 2. Hope you guys like the graphic. Don't look at the bottom. Alright. Week 2 picks. Last week we went 13-3. So that, therefore, on the season, we are 13-3. So this is a game that we're obviously late to. But I think the margin of victory was spot on. Obviously not the points were, but Packers, Commanders, won by 9. Okay, never mind. Close, though. Within 2 points. Yeah, I expected the Packers to win this one. They showed up against the Lions. The Commanders did not kill the Giants, so that's who I take there. Also, I haven't updated these. I made all these graphics, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, so some stuff's going to be a little outdated, but I think I'm going to stick with my picks either way. Jags, Bengals. I expect a wacky game. I think this one can go either way. This is the last game I would bet on. That's not true. The last game I would bet on, I'll get to, but I'm going to end up betting on it anyway. But yeah, I would not touch this game with a 10-foot pole. This game is really 50-50. I think it can go either way. I picked the Bengals because they should just clearly be the better team, but it's early in the year, and the Jags looked good. So I got the Bengals winning 24-17. On to our second game. This feels a little mean, but I think the Ravens are going to be very upset with what happened, and they're going to take that anger out on the poor Browns. That's pretty much all I have to say about this game. Ravens win 30-10. Giants, Cowboys. This is either going to be a shootout or kind of a stalemate like this. I expect the game to be close. But I think the Cowboys pull away at the end against the Giants, who just don't look great, but I still have hope they're going to bounce back. Lions, Bears, kind of a similar situation. I think the Lions are going to be pissed, and they're going to take it out on their poor division rival. A lot of division rival games this week I'm seeing. Speaking of it, the Dolphins look awful. The Patriots got to come back. Patriots game was one of the 3 I got wrong last week. And I think the Patriots should win this game, but the reason it's close is because the Patriots seem like they're going to need a little bit yet to get to how good they can be this year. And it's a divisional game in Miami, which New England typically loses. But I'm still going to pick them to win this one because I don't see them going 0-2, and I don't see the Dolphins winning a game for a bit. Now, this one I don't expect to be this far off just because, everyone on the Niners is hurt. But the big one now is Brock Purdy. I still expect Mac Jones to be able to win this game for them. So my pick isn't changing. I just don't know if I would still have this score of 27-9. I still expect the 9 from the Saints, kind of, just because I don't think any defensive players for the Niners are really hurt. It's more their offensive players, so I expect that 27 to look more like a 17, maybe. Yeah, that's Niners Saints. I got Niners winning, I guess, 27-9. Yeah, I think the Bills are going to show why they won that game. It wasn't a fluke. They're going to go put up points. That's what I expect. But I expect the Jets to put up a little bit of a fight at a point. But I think the Bills are going to pull away toward the fourth quarter. 35-21, Bills win. This one, I don't really like this score prediction anymore. Just thinking about it, this should be like a defensive game. I don't know if they're going to put up 26 points total combined. And I have the Steelers hitting 26-17 against the Seahawks. Yeah. Sorry I'm not going very in-depth with these games. I will next week. But, like I said, due to recent events, I kind of got to rush through all this just to get it out on time. So that way when I go 16-0, you guys know I'm not lying. Even though we already are 1-0. We got that first game right. Alright, this I expect to be the blowout of the week. Rams don't typically do blowouts, but I expect it here. The Titans are at home, so that could give them a little bit of motivation, but I think the Rams are going to show that their offense has still got it too. Rams are also my survivor pick of the week. This one is also a wacky game. The Cardinals did not look good against the Saints. They should be able to bounce back against what I think is the worst team in the league right now. I think 10 points is fair. This score feels perfect to me, honestly. 14-24. Give me the Cardinals. Broncos, Colts. Broncos are... Sean Payton's going to be very upset. I think he is very upset with how the offense played that game. And I think we're going to see the Colts' big win was just a Dolphins thing and a Week 1 thing. Broncos are going to come in. Both of the Colts' corners are out, so Broncos could put up even more points, honestly. I think Bo Nix is going to play with a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to want to come in there and put on a show, which I think he will, and I think the Broncos win 28-13. All right. This one I'm back and forth on. This is the one we're going to spend a little time on. I have the Eagles winning 28-27. In fact, I forgot I was going to make it so you cannot see the score until I click the button, but that's all right. What's the next game? I don't know. But, yeah. Who's the better team? Philly. Who's coming off the Super Bowl? Philly. Who's got the matchup? Philly. Who wants it more? I think probably still Philly. I think they hate the Chiefs. But I don't... It's hard to see the Chiefs starting 0-2. They've done it before. I think they've done it in recent memory. But in Arrowhead, against the Eagles, this one feels like it's going to be close for no reason, because it shouldn't be. The Eagles are the much better team, which is why I'm still taking them to win, but I'm not going to be shocked if the Chiefs pull this one off. All right, Sunday Night Football. Yeah, this is the one I didn't want to show the score for because I had a really good line. But this is the game I was talking about. This is the last one I'd bet on. But it's Sunday Night Football, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to lose more money. But it's in Minnesota. That's tough. Vikings are coming off a win. Falcons are coming off a loss. Vikings are feeling good because they got a comeback win. Falcons are going to feel bad because they missed it on a field goal against a division rival. And the Vikings was against a division rival in Chicago. Falcons was in Atlanta. JJ played, like I said, so bad. So bad. Should not have gotten that Offensive Player of the Week. But he came back. And I think if you're looking for the two biggest choking teams, two of the three biggest choking teams in the NFL, it's these two. I think the Chargers are also in there, but I think these are the first two that come to my head. This one's really tough. This one's kind of just a gut thing. It's hard to, like I just said, it's hard to see the Falcons going 0-2. And in prime time, who's typically better? The Falcons. And the Vikings are in prime time a second time. But this one's in Minnesota with the home crowd. JJ feeling great, even though I don't think he should be. I love JJ, don't get me wrong. I just think he played an awful game. It comes down to... It's going to come down to the very end, the last play of the game. Who do I trust to choke the least? And a lot of that's going to come down to quarterback. Now, the Falcons receivers might be out. That's going to hurt them a lot, which is... If they're both out, I might change the pick. I don't think I'm going to, though. I think I'm just going to stick with my gut. But you look at it, which quarterback do you trust more? In the big moment, in primetime football, Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy. Oh, wait, we just saw this game 2 years ago. the national championship. And you know who won? J.J. McCarthy. And this is going to be the part where I click the button. Give me the Falcons. So yeah, this one's just a gut feeling. I think the Falcons are going to show up and shock the Vikings. I actually don't think that. I don't think anything for this game. This game confuses me. This was a great game to put on prime time because I think this is the most 50-50 one. I mean, the Eagles-Chiefs is going to be a toss-up as well, but I think this is the hardest one. I should probably just be smart and take the Vikings, go with the safe pick, but you got to have a couple fun ones in there, you know? On to the doubleheader for Monday Night Football. I think the Texans squeaked this one out. Their offense is going to bounce back similarly to the Rams from that defensive shootout, and I expect the defense to be able to hold the Bucs back. But the Bucs are still going to put up points, but I don't trust the Bucs defense compared to the Texans defense, you know. And offenses, I think the Bucs are better, but if the Texans can get going, they'll be better. This is going to be a really fun one. This is another game that totally deserved to be on primetime. I'm glad it is. It's hard to see the Texans starting 0-2. I know I've said that 3 times now. It's just hard to see it. So give me the Texans to win by 1 point, 24-23. And for the last game of the week, Chargers-Raiders. I expect the Chargers to come in and win this one. It is in Las Vegas, and the Raiders, whenever they are decent, it's earlier in the year. But I think the Chargers are feeling great after their win, and I just think they're clearly the better team by a lot. I still don't really understand how the Raiders won against the Patriots. Week 1 things. And there's going to be week 2 things. Power rankings are going to be fun next week. Picks are going to be fun next week. We're getting into it, guys. Football's here. It's underway, and it's been a great season so far. We're only 1 weekend, technically 2, but it's been a great season so far. Not for my wallet. But yeah, we kept this under 30 minutes. I sped through them all. I kind of expected to... Originally, I planned on doing like 2 40-minute videos or like 30-minute videos. I don't know. Going in depth, but we got through it. We rushed through it quick. Kept it under 30 minutes. So yeah, be sure to come back next week for our other videos, and hopefully we can keep this streak going. We are 13-3 right now, technically 14-3 because I got the Packers game right. Be sure to drink water. It's good for you. Also, the situation I was talking about earlier at the very start of the video, if you want my thoughts on that, I don't know why you would, but if you do, if you're watching these videos, you're probably just in it for the football, but yeah, it's over on my TikTok. Go check that out. Chuck Norris 2040, which is also what I say for my outro, so Chuck Norris 2040. Get out of it. There we go.